Hey YouTube, welcome to the Comic Book Community 411. And my special guest tonight is Lady Fantastic.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Yeah, great to have you on tonight. I know we were talking backstage. It's a big night. You were live on Whack Comics a little while ago, so hopefully you still have some energy left to talk with us.
Doing God's work over there on Wax.
I caught maybe 5 minutes of it, so I definitely have to go back and watch it. Between you and Katie, K-pop,
A
and
lot of yeah, a lot
yeah,
of good information that you're missing if you don't
yes,
get into that.
yes, very informational, I'm sure.
Educational, enlightening, moving even.
So before we get into the questions, why don't you give everybody a little intro, a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so my name is Caroline and my YouTube channel name is Lady Fantastic and I started it probably, man, I would say 2019. So probably 4 years ago. But I saw other people doing this. I randomly started because I saw other people doing it. And I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. That people are showing their books. I would love to do that. I'm a child, and if they can do it, I can do it, and that's how I started. And man, I'm so thankful I did because this is such a. I've met so many. This is like I found my tribe, dude. I found my tribe. It's awesome.
It is a good group, and I think it's very very accepting, right? I mean,
Yeah,
everybody we have comic books in common, and then we learn a little bit more about everybody, and then
there's
we
something for
find out.
everybody.
Yeah. And that was one of the reasons why I started this interview show is kind of to have a one-on-one with other community members to learn a little bit more about them.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's fun, and there's a big web of us in the community, and it's all about casting new connections and threading that web even more finely, and it's great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've found, there were multiple channels that lived like within 10, 15 minutes of me. And
Yeah,
so
it's a
the
small
people
world.
that I've now met, at the comic book shop, I probably walked past them before I was on YouTube. And now we're friends in
Dude,
YouTube and in real life.
yeah, now two or three people like there's people that have been at my comic shop and they're like, "Hey, that's Lady F," and I'm like, "What?" I'm not like, and it was Dope Comics. I don't know if you know Dope,
Oh
but
yeah, I know Dope. Yeah, yeah.
he's an awesome guy, and
I
so
knew you guys were put in proximity. Yeah,
we live
pretty
in
close.
close
Yeah.
proximity, and we'll see each other every once in a while at our LCS, and it's just like, oh wow, that's wild. It, word gets around.
Yeah, no, he's got a great channel. I always
Yeah,
watching his channel. I always see books that I've never seen before or never heard of. So it's always fun watching him.
yeah, he's a massive horror enthusiast, and I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love how excited he gets.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Dopetopia, right? That's I think what he calls it.
Yeah, and then I think this Sunday he's doing the Dope Show, where me, uh, Biggie Shack, Hialeah, he wants to have, I think, us on. There may be one more person, but he said, I'm going to throw out hot takes, and you guys got to tell me if I'm stupid or not. And it's like, all right, I can do that.
Wow, that's gonna be good. I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's check in. We'll check in with the chat real quick before we get into the questions. Lucretius is here. I guess he's celebrating the weekend already because it's not Friday for me yet.
Yeah. Or me. I mean, though I wish it were.
Yes. Travis is here. Phil, good evening. So, all right. Hip is here. Good evening. Appreciate everybody
Evening.
hanging out. K-pop is here. Your other partner in crime from Whack Comics from earlier tonight.
She is just a knucklehead.
And she's actually coming up next week. She's going to be a guest right here. We're going to
She
have her.
mentioned that. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
all
so
right, all right.
looking forward to that. Psychedelic is here. Good evening, sir. Neil is here. Cody, where'd you get that? Let's see. Nicholas is here. Appreciate everybody hanging out. We got 14 people hanging out in the chat. I know Thursday night's starting to become a busy night too on YouTube. I mean, it's pretty much every night's a busy night these days. Flash is here. Good evening, Flash. Gene, appreciate you being here. Let's see. Let's see. Raging's here.
What's up, JD? JD,
Chloe's here.
I need to put this out for the community, but JD sucks at Mario Kart.
Yeah, right. There's a little Mario Kart little battle thing going on, right? I've
Oh,
heard.
it's
I've
not
heard a few
little.
people.
It's a war, and it's
Well,
big.
so who's all involved? Is Bleeker involved too? Is that
No,
do I have that right?
Bleeker's a nerd. He's not involved. JD's involved. Steve, so Hip Hop's and me's involved. Katie, Glenn. Um, help me out if I'm. There's a bunch of other people. Wes. Uh, there's James Morales. There's Rick, Straight Edge Rick. Just there's a bunch of people, and it's insanely fun. And I never realized what I needed in my life was a thread of grown ass adults who got together and played Mario Kart and talked mad shit with each other because it's absurdly funny. I mean, it's therapy, bro.
That's,
It's why did I
that's
even
good.
call you bro? But it's therapy. It's therapeutic. I'm a bro.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I missed a couple people. Sid is here. Six Face Comics. Good evening. Appreciate you being here. We got Old Wolf Flash. Who else did I miss?
Old Wolf. He's a weird old perv like me.
All right.
About you
So
there.
let's get into our first question.
Mhm.
So how did you get into comic book collecting?
So I um it started, I think, really because out of boredom. I was probably 5 or 6, I would say, or maybe 6 or 7. But I would spend summer times at my grandmother's house, and she lived in a neighborhood where a house like houses down, a home 2 houses down, they were always having yard sales, and they had like a teenage boy there that would sell his stuff, and he would sell all of his old Avengers comics, and I was absolutely fascinated with the imagery and the stories that were being told in these like I know it was like the Avengers from like in the 180s, maybe late 170s, and it was like had to do with like Guardians of the Galaxy crossover, and they were in space, and my little mind was blown. So I would get these for a quarter. So my granny would give me like $1, and I'd go down there, and it's so hard, man, but I would pick out 4 books or whatever, take them back to my grandma's and just read them, eat them up, just love it. And that didn't really, so I kept them in a stack, but it's not like any concept of preservation. It's like these are my little Avengers books, whatever. But then soon after that, the X-Men, I would say a couple of years after that, the X-Men cartoon came out. Um, and that blew my mind. Like, I, I, I connected so deeply with X-Men that I immediately had to get those books. So my mom took me to the LCS, and I went and I found a lot of those Claremont books that they were based off of. And that started when I was about, you know, 9, 10, 11. Oh my, and then it's just like, I probably stopped collecting when I was about 14, 15, when like it wasn't cool anymore.
Right.
And then I got to college and I started getting back into it. And then I would say didn't really, I mean, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I was just like, all right, I'm fucking doing this. but there had been different phases of my life. But it was always at it was, first, it was the fascination of the comic format that Avengers showed to me, this new medium, right? But then when I learned these X-Men stories, it was just like I identified so much with that theme that I didn't realize you could be so moved by something like that. And so I was just sucked in.
Yeah, I think right. People when you people think of comic books, if they're not collecting or have read comic books, they think of them as kids' books and maybe not
No,
serious stories. But
no, they're moving.
that's not what they are today, right?
No, yeah. I mean, the stories of the X-Men, they were about N yeah, they were superhumans, but this talked about the very vulnerable human aspects of them, and they were very fallible, and how, the imperfections of them, and trying to become like that family unit, while at the same time being rejected by a society that didn't understand them. I mean, that's heavy shit.
Right.
And for me as a kid, I mean, I'm just like, "This is the deepest shit I've ever," some of it I didn't quite understand that implication. But as I got older, 11, 12, 13, you definitely understand and really identify, especially like as a young, angsty tween or teen, like, oh, nobody understands me, So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
X
Yeah. I
Men.
mean I mean really right in the theme of the first couple X-Men movie it was the whole idea of them being different and not, not fitting
Otherwise.
in and
Yeah.
trying to find their way, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could definitely see how a teenager could relate to that.
Oh, yeah. It was right up my little angsty alley.
So I got to address Neil's comment here. See, he's just we used to play Fortnite together, but it's because I'm too cool. No, it has nothing to do with
Oh,
that. I've just
oh,
been
shoot.
we're moving. I'm very busy, and I just haven't had the time. I haven't played much of Fortnite, so
He's too.
uh,
He's
one of these days I'll get back.
just kidding. I'm just trying to stir the fire.
Uh, all right,
Yeah.
so our next question, and you answered it a little bit in your intro. So how did you make the leap to, collecting? You're collecting, and then how did you say, all right, I'm going to start a YouTube channel?
Yeah. So my brother really is the one that encouraged me to check out like YouTube as an alternative format to cable. And I'd adopted that, like, because it is to me like just as valuable, if not more so. Um, and I was primarily using YouTube, and I mean, I was traversing all kinds of things, and it may have been like from Comics Explained, and so, I had him just because I needed my stories. But then, like, recognizing, I think randomly because of that algorithm that I would watch that, somehow a video of a guy who just said like, "Oh, I just bought, a 10,000 book collection. Let's see what's in the first 3 long boxes." And he just did a video of just showing one after the other. It was like time sped, but like, and I
Oh, okay.
was like, "Is this a thing? Do people do this? Because this is exactly what I love and what I need." And like, and then I just couldn't stop watching haul videos. And I just got, you know, enraptured with it and consumed by it, and like saw all this stuff. And I'm like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Like, these are my people. Like, they're talking to me. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And so that's what happened.
Yeah,
I
and
do. I give I will. It's true.
I had a similar experience. Like I would use YouTube more for if I needed to, look up something, how to fix something, or needed, how to change something on the computer, some software or something. But I started to sell. I had a collection of comics that I had from the '80s,
Yeah.
and once COVID hit, I was working from home. I had a little bit more free time, and so I started to sell some of those books.
Hmm.
And I listed a bunch of books on eBay, and I got my first sale, and I was like, oh shit, how do I ship this without it getting damaged? because I didn't know that there was Gemini mailers. I had no idea. So I went to
Yeah,
YouTube.
it's
Yeah, I
true.
went to YouTube to figure out, typed in how to
You
ship
can
a
get
comic,
all the answers for everything.
and I found, somebody, how to how to pack it and send
Yeah,
it. Found out about Gemini mailers, and then I started to stumble on other YouTube comic book YouTube channels, and then I started watching, and then next thing I know, I was back at my LCS picking up books. Like it just
same.
very quickly turned into a pull list and back in collecting.
Guilty. But the joy of the connections and the friendships, I just wouldn't trade it for anything. Just love being part of this and love the fact that people have welcomed me with open arms. It's such a great feeling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's very welcoming. And one of the first things I saw mystery box openings, but then I started to see like the AOKs and the giveaways that were
Oh
going on. And like,
yeah.
wow, this community is very generous too. They're sending people books just randomly for watching their channel. So that was one of the things that kind of stood out to me very early on as well.
Like, but for me, like, you don't realize, like, it makes me happy, like, because we have such diverse comics, makes me happy if I have a book and I know somebody else is like looking at it. Yeah, getting something, it's great. Ah, thank you. But like sending it, and like sometimes sending it and they don't know about it.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
it's the best feeling, because it's just like it's nice. I mean, giving is I, it's just as gratifying for me, you know? I like it.
Oh yeah, it's that we hear about those stories, those random acts of kindness, usually during the holidays, where somebody buys Christmas gifts or pays off the layaway or buys coffee for the car behind them in the Starbucks drive-through, and they're feel good stories. And I enjoy hearing people are being nice to other people, and
Yeah.
so we have that in this community like on a daily basis
Yeah.
with giveaways and AOKs and just yeah, and that's even special when, like you said, when you see somebody open a book that they've been wanting, but they get as a gift unexpectedly is yeah, pretty
Awesome.
amazing to watch.
It's so great to see. Like, yeah, and I think because we all have different tastes and we just happen to come across different things, I may have it and it may not mean anything to me.
Right.
And to other people, it's like their grail, and it's like to be able to do that is just great, you know. And paying it forward, there's something very gratifying from that. Little altruism never hurt anybody.
Yeah, no, it's a the old it's better better to give than receive, right? So being able to do that for somebody else, yeah, it's a good feeling, and it's fun to watch. It's good to see.
The
I enjoy
selfish part of
watching.
me, yeah, the selfish part of me wants to see them open it.
Yeah,
And
the
so it's like,
reaction, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Now we got a
you
bunch
know,
of people. Super Russ is hanging out with us. Bubs Comics is here. Got all the troublemakers in the chat tonight.
well, are
I
you
think you.
shocked?
No, I think you bring them out.
No comment.
All right. So, question 3: if you had creative control over a character or a book that you could reboot or do something new with, who would you tackle?
I I would love to try to write like Carol Danvers, but in the specific context of binary, because I love it when she is in that iteration of her, because she's at her most powerful. And I love the cosmic soap operas, and I'd love to figure out her maybe getting into it with Ronan, or just I would love to do something with Carol as binary. But then part of me like is selfish because I'm remembering like her X-Men origins like in the Brood, and I'd like to see her do something with the X-Men again. And also, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I it would be fun for me to like write for Kitty Pride, like just or like an X-Men that have her, or Marauders or what have you, just because I've seen her grow and she's come to herself and become such a bad bitch. And I think I could give her a line or two that would reinforce the fact that she's just a badass bitch. I do not love Cyclops. Those are falsehoods. Okay.
No, we're not. We're not. Did Neil put Bubs in timeout?
Yeah, Chaos in Comics. I saw that. But still, like, the Brood. Here's the thing that scared the reason why Brood scared the shit out of me as a kid. They were like the nastiest little boogers. And I've always been fascinated with that and the whole, coming of like how Carol became binary and the fact that it was the Brood that were like fucking with her. And so, yeah, thank you. Thank you. But the Brood freaked me out. And you know that one cover where it's like Storm shifting into the Brood? Oh my god. It's so nasty. They're like big cucarachas.
So I'm guessing you don't have high hopes for the Marvels movie that's coming out later this year.
Oh, they're just the opposite. Like I have, well, maybe not the opposite of not high hopes or high hopes. I'm going with an excited curiosity, you know? And um until I watch it myself and lay eyes on it myself, I'm not going to make any comments. Um, will it be great? It probably won't be, but at the same time, those are three characters that I really like. They've gotten so much hate. Oh my god, if you listen to the people talk about the Marvels movie, you get shat on. But like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel that way. And I want to watch it before I make any kind of assessment. So
Yeah, I think it's give it a fair shot, right? Go watch it, and then if you don't like it or you think it's crap, well then voice your opinion on it. But we've had what 2 or 3 trailers. There's been a little bit of interview. I think the last week or so. I think the director said that it's more comedy driven, and people were jumping all over that, like, oh no, it's going to be total crap.
I don't know until I watch it. I'm excited to see, Spectrum or Photon. Um, I'm excited to see, Kamala, and I didn't mind Brie Larson, and I'm not butthurt by anything Brie Larson said, so I don't hate her. Like I have a healthy enough sense of confidence that anything that she says is like you don't have to get so. Anyways, anyway. Yeah, I'll see it, and then I'll make my comments afterwards. Doesn't mean that there's some Marvel movies that have been pure mitigated crap, and some of them have been surprisingly good. And I'm a Marvel fan, and that's just the way I feel about some of the movies.
I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was really well done. That was
I had to
fun.
turn that off, Brian. I turned
Really?
on. I not listen to me. I turned it on, and the opening scene was baby raccoons. And I turned it off because I was like, I know these fucking animals are going to get hurt. I cannot stand it when
Oh,
animals or
okay.
babies get
Yeah.
hurt. I can't deal with it. PTSD, bro. I cannot deal with animals getting hurt. So I was like, I want to see it, but mm-mm.
Yeah. There was a little roughness with the animals. Yes.
Yeah. It, I don't know. Even it's so like, here's the thing. Man, I watched that stupid Ridley Scott Turtles movie, and no, I said stupid. It's not necessary, but I started crying, and I tried to hide it. But when they were being mean to Splinter at the end, they're like hitting him and shit. Like Splinter gets beat up in the end. I started crying, and then my friend made fun of me because I was crying over an animated rat. So yeah, I'm kind of a soft
I,
ass.
I mean, I'm a softie for animals too. So
Anyways, yeah. Like people, I don't care. Like kill them all. But like you see like a cute little mammal and it's like, no. All right.
I'm with you. I'm a big dog guy. Take my dogs for a walk every day. They're our extended family. So I'm with you.
Yeah. Splinter Abuse is deserving of cries. Man, I just couldn't. Not so tough, Lady F. What are you doing with the weird? With the weird?
Yeah, he's got the
I know
he's got
he's trying.
he's
What are you, the Joker?
kind of yelling at you with
He's
the
weird. I don't know. Oh,
he's trying to psych you out for the Sunday show
for the
with
dope
Dope.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He gets goofy sometimes. He'll probably just be in his underwear or something weirdo.
All right. Well, I think that's a good transition to our next question. So, what's one thing? What's your biggest complaint or dislike in the community, whether it's here on YouTube or collecting books?
Sometimes I think people get too focused on making inflammatory or controversial comments, um, not because they really care about the content, but more because they want to evoke a response. And I um, find that tiresome. So I prefer people be authentic in, you know, the things, the content that they put out and not as bait y. So that's just me.
No,
Sometimes
I've seen some clickbaity titles and thumbnails and posts on Instagram, and yeah, I wonder, why some people choose to go down that avenue.
I don't understand the motivations of individuals that make the entire premise of their content a poke the bear kind of thing, but that's just me.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I agree. I agree. I tend not to watch those channels that do that type of stuff.
while at the same time, I can have a very poke the bear attitude. So it's like, I don't know, man, but it can be exhausting.
I agree. I understand. Yeah, I get. Like I said, there's um, a story or some news in the community that somebody's been following, and every time I see their thumbnail or post on Instagram, I kind of it makes me cringe because I'm like 5 or 6 videos on the same topic and just something that's really not that important to the community. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a case to case thing, and I don't. It's hard for me because I just don't really focus on the bad things. Um, Keep the illusion, lady. Shut up. Um, yeah, I there's just so many positive things, and if something's negative, I tend to just fucking ignore it. So, um, I don't know. If it annoys me, I don't harp on it. I just move along. I just move on.
yeah, I agree. That's a good approach. All right, so you made it through the four.
Bubs, you're an asshole. I love it. He's a turd, a
Yeah,
lovable turd.
no, and I learned that about the CBC Awards very quickly. That some people really just don't care, and
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
fine.
and it's okay.
Yeah,
It's not. It's nothing personal. It's just like it's just a thing.
yeah,
As long as they don't come at you and like are cruel, it's okay, right?
yeah, yeah. You don't have to like awards or award shows or
Or participate, but don't be a dick. That's right.
yeah.
Just
No,
don't be a
no need
dick.
to. Yeah, no need to bash it.
Yeah. That's the thing in the community. Just don't be a dick. Don't try to ruin anybody else's day. We all have, lives. We come to the community because we're here because we love something and we share the love of a hobby. Don't be a dick. There's enough of those in real life.
Right. We're trying to do this to have fun and get away from the day to day stresses of life, and we don't need you to be a Debbie Downer over here.
I mean, I could be, but
Not tonight. We're keeping it.
not
We're
tonight.
keeping it.
Not tonight.
Well. This is going to be a weird transition then. So we got through our four questions that I ask everybody, and now the next two are random. One that I come up with, and one we'll pick from a list. And my random question for you is: I've heard you and I've seen you do videos and be on other channels and talking about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So where does that come from? Where does that
Uh,
and it's it's an awareness, a positive thing, but where do where does that openness to talk about that come from?
well, it comes from my own personal experiences, suffering from mental illness. Unfortunately, depression is something that is very familiar to me, and it's I've had some very difficult experiences in my life, and I'm thankful that I haven't offed myself. And through processing pain and through learning about myself, um, sometimes the best thing you can do is let people know that they're not alone, and that reach out, like. And I think that I can advocate for that because I know what it is to suffer. I don't want people to feel that way, but I also want them to know that they're not alone and that there are ways to get through it and that there are ways to heal. It's not easy, but I mean, professional help is there because it really works. I mean, makes statistically significant alterations towards positive changes in your life. And and it shouldn't be stigmatized because you know you can call into, or you show your boss, hey, here's a x-ray for a broken leg, or here's my scans, I've got cancer. But what do you show them for the fact that you have a dysregulation of neurotransmitters in your brain? People don't buy that shit. And it's sad because your brain is an organ that deals with biochemical changes just as your pancreas would with like insulin dysregulation. So it absolutely, I just want to be a vessel for letting people know that it's okay. I hear you, and there's hope.
It's an important message, and that's why I wanted to ask that question because I know I've seen videos from you just saying things, hey, reach out if you need if you need to talk to somebody. And I've seen others, and I don't know if it's directly related to somebody watching your video, and then other people have been more open to speak about it. But there's others in the community, S Vaughn 82. He does a Monday night show, and he talks about addiction and all kinds of things. Um, and I really I like that idea. I think it's important because you don't know what somebody's struggling with on a day to day, whether it's a family thing, a personal thing, a mental thing. Um, so yeah, I think it's important, and we are such a tight knit community that we can reach out. We can we can send somebody a message or pick up call somebody or send them a text message, whatever it is to maybe help them through. And we've all have experiences with all kinds of stuff that maybe we can help help somebody else out there. So yeah, it was it, when I knew we were going to sit down and talk, that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you because of your openness with it. And I think, like I said, I think it's a great thing. So
Yeah, man, I didn't foresee this being the way my life is, but I know that I want to be an individual that can help and maybe advocate for others, because we are so similar. You, me, anybody else, we are inherently the same person with maybe slight changes. And to see others as yourself, to have that level of compassion, I think is essential because it gives you a chance to be easier on yourself as well. I don't know. There's a lot of the more we can look at our fellow man and see that that's me, you know, it only makes sense to treat others the way we would want to be treated. And I mean, mental health is such a tough thing and it's so stigmatized. And I just want people to know that, like, there are scientific ways to address it. There are, there are spiritual ways to address it. And, usually the best way is a hybrid of the two. And it's okay. It's okay to hurt, because all of us do, man. And we're here. I don't know. This sounds like blah, 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 but
No, no, it's like you said, we're more alike than we are, not alike, right? Because we all go through, whether we show it or not. There's always stuff. I had a crazy day. I had to go to a wake tonight. A family friend passed away. So there's things that are going on in our daily lives that people may not know, by just seeing us on YouTube showing off comic books.
yeah,
But you can kind of get a sense when you get to know somebody a little bit, or watch them on YouTube a little bit. When they're off, when they're not having a good day. There was one day I did a video. I recorded it very early in the morning, and my voice was off, and just because I was a little froggy from just waking up, and I did the video early, and I put the video out on YouTube, and within like a half hour, I had a couple people messaging me like, "Hey, are you okay? Is like everything all right? You sound in the last video you did, you sound like you're off, like something's wrong." And I was like, "No, I'm fine. It was just thank you, but it was
yeah,
just I recorded it early in the morning, and my voice, I hadn't had coffee yet."
yeah. I mean, and I mean, like, genetically, we're like 99.999. The differences between us are infinitesimally small. And so we have to recognize that the range of emotions other people feel, we can't differentiate ourselves from others, because we're just another expression, or we're all the same. And so we have to see each other as that. Like, I have to treat you as kindly as I would treat myself, because fuck, we all have these random emotions and we need to take it easy on each other. Because if I'm going to be compassionate towards myself, that means I have to treat you with compassion as well. It only makes sense. Anyways,
Phil says he's not like us.
that's weird. Yeah, I mean, it's crippling. Seek help, but also know, like, um, all moods are transient. Nothing stays the same. And that's what I remind myself when it gets super, super dark. I know, like, this too shall pass, because emotions cannot stay the same. The one constant in this life is that everything is transient. Yes. Thank you, Glitter. Like, and I'm sorry. And yeah, like, dude, my family doesn't talk about it at all. They think it's fucking like like, just something
Right. You
we
sweep under
don't
the
have
rug.
that.
You don't
We don't
talk
talk
about
about
it.
that. I'm
Yeah.
breaking the fucking cycle. You know why? Because I can't be quiet, because I want to heal. And I had to surrender and say, I can't do this by myself. Like, this is bigger than me. So I'm going to go to some professionals that do this for a living, and I'm going to fucking put it all out there and do what they say. And, staying committed to your own mental well-being is tough, but it can make worlds of differences.
Well, like I said, I really appreciate that you've been very open about it. Because like I said, I know there's people out there that they need to hear it, and they may be afraid to talk about it, or like you said, have family members around them that don't want them to talk about it, make them feel ashamed to talk about it. So
Hmm.
it's good. It's good that we have these kind of discussions, and I've seen it too. I've seen people reach out, "Hey, we haven't seen so and so in a little while, hanging out on the shows they usually hangs out with. Well, let's somebody go check on him. Somebody send him a message, see how he's doing, make sure he's okay." That
Hmm.
type of thing. So all good stuff. We need to be I wish we could take what we've built in this community and kind of, let the larger world see some of the good things that are happening here, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're all we all gotta help each other out, and like we're stewards of the earth, and to see, you know, I don't know if it's media, I don't know what it is, but harmony is good. It's good to treat each other well, and you know, whatever.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I agree. All right, let's shift. We'll shift gears a little bit. So we're gonna hit you with a random question. So I have 50 questions. So give me a number, 1 to 50, and we'll see where we land.
27.
27. What TV or YouTube channel doesn't exist but really should?
What TV or YouTube channel doesn't exist but really should? God damn. Um, I'm gonna. It would be a YouTube channel, and all it would do is show gym dogs, but the diversity of gym dogs across every individual. Like they would get pictures, nothing but pictures of dude's junk, and all it would do is just show nothing but dude's junk. But you would see like the phenotypic plasticity and like how they're so much different, and you could just see about it and be like, "What? We're the same, but this guy's got like a little button, and this guy's got like." That's what I would do. Deep shit.
Wow, that was not the answer I was expecting.
I have no idea what to say. I'd have to think for a little longer. But just going to shallow me, make a gin dogs, cupcakes, pizza, and taco. That would be nice. That sounds
Old Wolf likes your idea on the channel.
okay. All right, man. And we're taking photos to start the. No, we're not. Send it to Brian at
No,
LCS.
please do not. Or already have to deal with the CBC award stuff.
Oh, come on, he won't mind.
That actually might be, those pictures might be better though than some of the stuff.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I'd have to, yeah. On the spot's a little tough.
All right, well that was it. You made it through all of the questions that I had for you.
Yes.
Anything else that you want to talk about, and when maybe we could? I didn't see any questions come in through the chat that, at least that I would want to put up on screen. But um, anything
Um,
else that you want to talk about or mention?
no, I just want to, thank you for having me. It's very kind of you, and I think what you do for the comic community is really good, and it's brought a lot of people together. And I like your breakfast with Brian. I always think that's great and have such a good time. Um, you know, but nah, I don't really have anything other than like I'm thankful for you guys. I appreciate you guys like accepting me, and you know, if you don't laugh, you cry. So fucking laugh, man.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and thank you for the. That was the idea behind the Comic Book Community Awards, was really to kind of celebrate the community. When I
Yeah,
started my channel, I very quickly discovered a lot of channels, and I was like, look at what's going, between somebody's editing skills, or you look at somebody like Freaky Louie who's wearing wigs and doing skits and building sets, and it's just like there's so much creativity within the community. Why don't we celebrate it? And that's really how the award started. So
yeah,
and I think it's slow, kind of slow and steady, but I think year after year we're growing a little bit, and maybe some people that didn't like the idea year one are starting to come around. So I think it's a good thing.
yeah. Like Martha Stewart says, it's a good thing.
Old Wolf has a question for you.
I don't really know what that means. I mean, this is yeah, it's my sofa. Thing is like I don't have a proper comic room. And I was thinking about maybe getting a different condo that's actually closer to my some other family members, and it would have an extra bedroom, and I could make like my own like
The
lady
room.
cave. And because my comics are actually set up over here, and you're not the first person that's bothered me about having things behind here. But I I have my comics like long boxes at the very end of my room, and I have a shelving system with all my short boxes in it. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really boring, and you know, that's the one location. That's all you get. But I do have this is a sofa. I've got a chair over here. I've got a bed. Don't have a kitchen table. So it's just like where my comics are.
All right. So maybe in the future we'll have a the lady cave to hang out in.
Yeah, long boxes. I should. Ugh, long boxes are tough, man. But I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I have nine long boxes, and then like friggin' 20 short boxes. It's bad.
Yeah, I'm starting to transition to all short boxes because I just find it's
It's
easier
stupid.
to
Yeah,
carry and move around if you have to move them around.
that's right. Lady Cave, old wolf. All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on and answering all the questions. And I know you have coming up. We mentioned earlier that you're going to be on Dope Comics on Sunday night, so definitely go check
Yep.
that out.
The
Do you
dope
know
show.
Dope Show what time that is? I think he usually does in the evening, right? 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I think let me check. 638. I've got let's see, dope. Where is he at? Um 7 p.m. Central. So 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Eastern.
Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. All right, be there or be square.
That's right. Don't be an L7 weenie.
All right. Well, Caroline, thank you so much for coming on and answering all my questions. Really appreciate it. And then, like I said, next week we're going to have your partner in crime from Whack Comics this evening, K-pop.
You're not going to be able to
So,
handle it. You may need to, I don't know,
yeah, well,
get
that's
a
kind of why I
taser.
scheduled it a week apart so I could rest up, get recover from this
Let's see.
show and be
Yeah,
ready for that one next week. So,
good call.
but I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
If you're catching the replay, I'll have links down. I have links down below for Lady Fantastic's channel. So definitely go check her out if you're not familiar with her. She's always hanging around on live streams, causing trouble. So you'll see her from time to time. Just
Talking trash.
yeah, I like when you come on the Legion show and Friday mornings because usually you're the one who's just kind of keeping those guys in line over there. So I like
You
that.
know, got to keep them close to Jesus. Got to keep them humble.
All
Hey,
right. Well,
buddy.
thanks everybody in the chat for being here tonight. Lady Fantastic, thank you again. And definitely go check out our channel if you're not familiar. Links down below. And we'll see everybody next week. I'm looking for my outro video.
I have a potty mouth.